Hey everyone,
Happy Life Results book reading group.
with the author Stacy McPherson.
Hi, nice to see you. Except I can't see you.
Oh, this is like the subconscious and the you guys are the subconscious. We're sure you're hearing and maybe.
Send us a paper trail.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, so this section is called Catch Up. It's in Hero section, stage 3, the Hero, and it's in a section called Model Matters 2.0, and it's part 4 of this. So it starts
Catch up?
on.
You said it's called catch up?
Oh,
Nope,
sorry,
it's
it's
above
not.
catch up.
It's above Catch Up.
If you're reading the book, it's the paragraph right above catch up.
Yep, on the other end. That's what it starts. We're not catching up yet. We're still behind.
We're still behind. We're still talking about behinds.
Jason. Oh my goodness, we have to start over.
No, we're good. We're good.
Okay. The other end of the spectrum
Dang.
is the model that our conscious mind is like the ego, blocking us from our true nature, and that we must get the ego out of the way so we can embrace our universal oneness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thanks. There are many benefits to this model, but its use can be just as limiting as the reverse if a person tries to achieve the objective by fighting against themselves or abdicating their power to sources outside themselves. Ooh, explain. What are you saying here?
First of all, let's say, what would the reverse be? What would be the reverse?
Of which one?
There are many benefits to this model, but it can be just as limiting as the reverse.
Oh, okay. Oh, so the reverse is instead of getting ego out of the way to embrace universal oneness. So that's the idea that we're really capable beings. We're just blocking ourselves from being capable, right?
Yeah.
So the reverse would be we are incapable beings trying to become more capable, and we're trying to add on those abilities one by one versus just blocking. Is that a reverse? Did I get the right reverse?
I think so. Yeah, so let's get more clear on what it is, I guess. So then the conscious mind is like the ego. So we already have an amazing nature. Like we already, like this model would say, you already have amazing abilities, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You already have incredible, amazing abilities. Mm-hmm. And the reason why you can't see it is because you have an ego that's blocking it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to get the ego out of the way.
The default is amazing, wonderful, and you're doing something to mess that up.
Yes.
And the opposite would be the default is not amazing, not wonderful, and you're trying to become better than you are now, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the difference?
Yes.
Okay. So
yeah, and you will run into both. Like I've
yeah.
seen both. I've even practiced both.
Mm-hmm.
Like I felt myself as the limited, incapable person that is looking at the top of the mountain saying, this is where I want to go. I want to be that amazing, but I'm not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a progression. Like I would just need to get stronger and have, more experiences and get better and better until now I'm that amazing person. And then that is flipped. It would be, I'm already that amazing person. I just am blocking. I get in my own way. That kind of.
Yeah. So then let's talk for a second about how the idea that you're already an amazing person and you're blocking it can be used in a way that's limiting. So it said, if a person tries to achieve the objective by fighting against themselves, or abdicating their power to sources outside themselves. So tell me what you mean by the fighting, and then I'll talk about the abdicating the power.
Okay, and then just to clarify, the thing I like about this model is
Good idea.
I love thinking that we're already these incredible beings. Like I love that. Like thinking I'm already self-evolved. However you want to describe it. Like I'm already have access to incredible power and abilities. I'm, limitless already. That's my nature. And then, so that I would pull that out of this analogy and say, that's what I like. I like the view of me being that, limitless being.
And there are a lot of benefits also to viewing humanity as one. The universal oneness idea is a very connected, very wholesome perspective of all of that we it's not me against someone else, or one of us wins at the other person's loss. It's all about all of us being connected in one and lifting all at once.
Yes,
Right?
yes. And
Yeah,
so when I think
really
about
good things.
when I think about how amazing I am, it's because I embrace all of humanity.
I like how you say that. When you think about how amazing you are,
It's
because you're connected to everyone, and everyone's amazing.
Yes.
It's not even a pride or comparison. All of that stuff falls
No.
away.
Yeah.
So it has some really wholesome aspects,
Yes,
doesn't it?
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Okay, so then let's talk about what the downside of that. The first one,
Yeah.
fighting against yourself. If you feel like you're the ego blocking from that.
Yeah, so how do you feel about your conscious mind when you think about this universal oneness? You think of this amazing, all of the amazing capabilities that you would have if you didn't block it. So then how do you feel about the part of you that's blocking it?
So it's almost like, here we're going to be embracing this whole idea of universal oneness, except for the ego, and the ego is bad, and we got to kick the ego out of the room, kind of thing. So then it's like the whole idea of wholesome oneness kind of went out the window when it came to the ego.
Yes, because if you're approaching the ego as being so evil and so bad and so like fighting against, you want to fight against the ego, then it loses all of that amazing power because you're focused on this one aspect that pits you against yourself.
And once again, she said, if you did that way, it's if you applied this universal idea as by fighting against yourself. She's not saying the idea of universal oneness creates that animosity or creates that. So if the way you approach it is to do it through conflict within yourself, that's a potential problem. It's going to have limitations in how you want. Then the other one is if you abdicate the power. For example, if you think the only way you can connect to this universal oneness is doing certain practices, or if certain words are used, or if certain behavior has to happen in order for that connection to be there, like meaning if someone doesn't say the right things, then it's going to make it so you can't access the power of this universal oneness or whatever. Like if you're thinking all of that depends on whether or not you had your morning coffee, as an example. I'm just throwing out.
Or your meditation.
Yeah, that's
or your exercise.
Or your exercise. Or like if you think it works only when the outside stuff works, then you're also creating limitations. It's not saying it's bad. It's not saying it's just saying that's setting up a limitation on how much you're capable of doing.
So we're trying to pull out the best parts of the model and then show the limitations of the model, and even show that there are ways to pull out the best parts and not just automatically accept the limitations. You can
and you can tell that what we're leading toward is, because this is the application stage where you're lifting the weights, what we're leading to is what model are you using and what's coming next. So
yes, and what model would you like to use?
That's what's coming next.
Yeah, pull out the parts of each model and say, this is what I like, and then create your
model, the one that's not just a model you've been using or one that you're familiar with, but the model that will work the best for you. That's
because this is the application stage. So we're doing it, we're applying it. So cool.
All
right, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, guys.